What is up, 7 Days to Die fans? I am doing another video today, another tier list, as you can tell from the title, that is going to be resources for 1.0. And that is, before I jump into that though, I want to ask you guys to subscribe to not me. Well, subscribe to me too, but I wanted to plug the guy who gave me the idea. I'm borrowing from him. I just got a lot of, like, I don't know. I binge watched a lot of them. And I'm really interested in it gave me the idea to do the tier list and stuff like that. And then like the tier list on my channel was like one of my best videos. My first one. The only thing that kept me making content was my Alpha 21 weapons tier list, which then I just did 1.0 updated opinion, which kind of similar, but nothing really changed. But there was a little bit of extra nuance maybe, but or a little bit more. Yeah, it was a better take because my first one I was really awkward. But this guy, that gaming leprechaun, if you could please go subscribe to his channel. Subscribe to me too if you're interested as well. But I really would like you to go subscribe to his channel. Show this guy some love. Give him comments, likes on all of his content and stuff like that. This guy, he's on Twitch, I guess. At that gaming leprechaun, whatever. I just want to plug him for the idea and the success I got so quickly from my first tier list, and it's all thanks to this guy. So thank you very much, and I hope he's not too upset that I'm just gonna like cookie cutter copy his themes. I'm not gonna take his opinions, but right. But whatever. Thank you. I just want to thank him. Thank you, Gaming Leprechaun. Really appreciate you. I'm gonna plug you in the my description as well. That I'll add your channel and stuff like that. And without further ado, sorry. Let's jump into the tier list. So we got resources 1.0, and we got a lot going on here. So first one, I mean, his was a little bit more organized. I just went into the folder, the item icon folder, and then just grabbed everything that said resource, and then I was just going to run it down. So resources in 7 Days to Die. The perspective here is that we are trying to get a grasp of, I think why he got asked what's the gaming leprechaun was to do the tier list is like what's important to be like. This is going to be helpful hopefully for new players, because what's important while you're looting, what's a good stuff, like, you know what I mean? Like there's this problem in the mid game to late game, or even sometimes the early game, where you just have an overabundance of loot and you don't know what to prioritize, what to go for, what's important, what's not important, what should you go, whatever. And then I'm going to kind of give my tier list and then a little bit of commentary on each of the items, like little tips and stuff I can think of as it comes up. I'm just going to do my best here. This one will probably need another go, like my weapons one, because this is going to be like fresh, but like when I was doing my second tier list for my weapons, I had a lot more previous conversations and previous pieces of content, which allowed me to be a lot more smooth when I was talking about stuff, because I had already discussed with friends, argued with friends, did my first tier list, etc. But yeah, I have a lot of experience, so this will be a lot of fun. So let's rock. And it's just kind of silly. It's just fun. This is fun. Okay, anyway, sorry. So I'm dragging this on way too long. Let's just jump right into the list. First is gas can, and I would say gas can. This is going to be so tough because so much of this stuff has such good, like it has a purpose. It's like, how do I rank the purpose? It all depends on what you want from your experience here. And gasoline, I just want to say, it makes flaming arrows, which isn't very good, but it almost feels S tier because gasoline is like vehicles. And the reason why I want to say S tier, I want to, but I'm kind of hesitant because I have so many items to get to, and I feel like I could justify putting most of this stuff into S tier because it's all really good loot. Gasoline, it's kind of a no-brainer. It's cars. It's your car, bruh. Like, so now that I say that out loud, it may be like an A tier because like it is abundant, it is easy to make, and it comes so easily. It is it's oil. You know, oil runs the world. It's like oil and steel in the real world when it comes down to commodities. It's like coal, oil, steel, or oil and steel are the two main commodities of the planet of industry and stuff like that. So it's like kind of hard to argue that this isn't S tier, but like there's things to get that are a lot more important than this, which is now making me drive it down to at least an A. I will say it's stackable. That's also a very important consideration too. Stackable things make me want to rank them higher. So I was about to slide it down into B, but now that I know that it's stackable, it's kind of an A. It still might be B because of the low sell price. I'm just gonna say B tier because it's required everywhere, but it's like so abundant that it's not like such a OP. Like it's something you need. You don't need this early, and it's easy to come by. So I think B actually might be a fair. Batteries sell really well. I think like if it sells well to create Duke tokens, which I think I'm going to put that in the S tier already. It's a game economy. It used to be a lot better in earlier alphas, but I just really like brass coins. If I remember correctly, you can scrap these down into brass, which I'm pretty sure that because I had a lot of crossover from Darkness Falls, which is going to make this kind of like they're going to kind of like mesh together. My opinions from Darkness Falls to like vanilla and stuff, and so, like because I played so much vanilla and I played so much Darkness Falls, I don't remember which one is which. But I'm pretty sure you can scrap Duke coins down for brass. So their bottom value, like the floor value of brass is really really high because not brass but dukes because it is the currency of the game, so it gives you access to the economy of the game, which is the traders. The traders, like, you know, you get that secret loot, you get that better loot, you know, your loot stage goes up, your trader stage goes up, you get that perk, whatever, that makes the trader better and stuff like that. It used to be a lot better. They nerfed the, like, over a period of years, they've nerfed the frick out of traders. Dukes used to be like, I would say SS or like SSS or SSS plus Super Saiyan Gogeta with Ultra Instinct good because the trader, like Secret Stash was like it felt like purely RNG. So sometimes you open that trader up and it would have such an amazing item that you could rush Dukes and then get a crazy item like a rocket launcher or buy a vehicle right from there. Or I don't know. I don't remember. I just remember you could get like crazy stuff. You get the Crucible like really fast and shit like that. So it is S tier because it is the thing that it is the store of value of the game is the Duke. So then batteries too. I want to right away put it into B tier because it sells for a lot. I think it's a decent item to sell, and it scraps to lead. Which, like, if you're worried about inventory space, it does scrap down to a lot of lead, and lead stacks up, and lead is bullets, and you know what I mean. Like, an item that will stack or scrap to stackables rank higher. That's a lot of value because it saves you on inventory space, and it's a way for you to store up a lot of value while you're extending your loot trips and stuff like that, like stackables, like, and the usefulness of the battery just in and of itself to create vehicles and to get power online. It's pretty B tier. It's kind of like these two are like kind of the same thing. It might happen. I don't have engine in here. Maybe if I had engine, I would put it maybe in A tier because it scraps down to mechanical parts, and mechanical parts are pretty useful and they're kind of hard to mass. I mean, they're not that hard to mass, but finding an engine and scrapping it to 20 mechanical parts feels pretty good. Yeah. So tin can, just a tin can. I'm not. This is from Alpha 21 actually, so I'm not even sure that's in 1.0. But we'll just put that at the end. This is pretty much iron. If anything, it's just iron. But sorry. Okay. So we got acid here. Darkness Falls, this is an S tier because you need it for Chemistry Station. And for 1.0, I'm pretty sure acid is still used for the Chemistry Station. And the Chemistry Station is pretty OP. So this is a really good item. Chemistry Station pretty much halves the cost of all your things. Just plug his channel one more time, but I just want to make sure. Chemistry Station. Yeah, it still requires. Yep. So this is a prerequisite for Chemistry Station for it. I know you need it for Darkness Falls. That's why I just wanted to look it up. I'm gonna feel silly saying that, but or just being like not knowing that. But yeah, animal fat. I think it's a C tier. It's like it's so common and it's used as like a. This is gonna be harder than I thought it was gonna be. I was a lot more excited to do this, but now it's gonna be kind of grindy. Sorry. Animal fat. Kind of good. You use it to make torches, and torches early are kind of like your light source. So it's kind of good, and you can't really eat it. It's not. You make flaming arrows with it too, and flaming arrows aren't that good, but it's pretty common. It's not a lot of uses, and it's not very like it doesn't have very high sell price, and whatever. It's just nothing to write home about. Arrowheads. I'm gonna say A because not as a I don't know. Actually, probably just B because they scrap the iron. They sell. They're stackable, but they're kind of clunky when it comes to your inventory. They usually come and they're not very common that you find them in terms of resources. So most of the time you end up scrapping them down to iron. But it is nice to sometimes have that iron arrow so that you can fletch or make your arrows and stuff like that. So it is pretty good. Bones. I say bones are A tier because bones craft to glue to duct tape, and duct tape you're going to be needing a lot of duct tape. Duct tape and glue are using a lot of different recipes, and bones are pretty nice. You feel they feel like garbage when you're carrying them and stuff like that, but then once you get to a stage of the game when you need to start making a lot of things and stuff, you need a lot of glue, and then you happen to not have any glue, and then you're kind of like scuffling around to find glue and duct tape. And if you had bones on site and you have your chemistry station going, especially, you're making a lot of glue. It's a lot more accessible. It's a lot easier. So broken glass, D, not very good. That's not a lot to say about broken glass unless you're like glitched and you're not the admin and the admin's not fixing your guy. Broken glass can kill yourself and you can get yourself out of like a glitch, like if you fall through the bottom of the world or something like that or whatever. Buckshot, I would say C because I wish there was SS. I should have maybe. This is a single use one. I got to figure out how to make this like SS and just like have. I like D minus, D plus, all that stuff too. That would make these tier lists a little bit better because like I like to rank these. Okay, so it is better than animal fat. I would say C just because I think shotguns are like the least effective missile weapon. I'm not saying they're not fun, but I just feel like shotguns aren't as strong as bullets. So they are a little bit less than bullets. They're not bad, but they're not the greatest in terms of like resources. And in the early game, when I find buckshot, I usually drop it. I don't know. I don't normally stack up lead to try to save cash. I have other strategies to get cash, but yeah. Brass, bullet casings, I would say is A tier. Pretty S tier. It's like, bullet casings, you find them early and they don't seem very valuable until you get to a point where you need a lot of bullets, and just having a lot of bullet casings, eventually you're going to make them. It's kind of a necessity for any 7 days playthrough. You need a shit ton of bullet casings, so it's like a very valuable resource in my opinion. Though it does get clunky in the inventory because you'll have things that are brass and then you'll have bullet casings, and it takes up 2. So you might want to just scrap it down to save inventory if you're on like an extended loot trip or something like that, or you are encumbered and you're trying to just trim your inventory down a little bit. This is one to scrap down to brass, so you'll take a little bit of a hit to your bullet casings, but pretty much you're going to see a theme of me putting all brass things up top because brass are super important. You can't mine brass, you have to find brass. So, bullet casings or bullet tips are A tier because they should, I don't know. This is tough. Like, my instinct says put it at top of A because bullet, as a resource, bullet tips, yeah, let's just throw it at S tier because, like, what's really going to make this list what it is like all of these resources facilitate your 7 days playthrough, and your 7 days playthrough, the main fuel which continues you to survive are going to be the amount of bullets you have. So everything is either going to facilitate bullet creation, bullet acquisition, or just everything's going to surround bullets. So that kind of is my argument for them being S tier. C tier. So then that kind of moves this up to B tier just to be consistent a little bit, and I'll move it to the top of B. Right. So I'm just gonna say that. I just because buckshots, I think shotgun shells are a little bit weaker. But yeah, let's just move on. So then we got brass candlesticks. Same thing. It is. I am always happy to find these. They scrap down really nicely. They have a really nice sell price too. So if you're worried about, I don't know, it's some of the junk that I just pick up and I'm never really upset about it, and because it scraps down to a stackable, and it does sell pretty okay. You know what I mean? If you're going for that early game rush. I love cement. Cement is also S tier. Man, so many things I want to put S tier. I want to put it S tier, but on second thought, it is A tier because, like, yeah, structures are really nice and stuff like that. It's really strong, but it is not my previous thing I'm saying here. You can survive for a very long time in a cobblestone structure, so this isn't like a necessity of living. So one of the reasons why I wanted to slide it up into S tier is because I have a thing where I like finding concrete, cement, or whatever, not concrete, cement in the trader because it's normally very cheap in terms of dukes, which is why this is S tier because dukes, early dukes, if there is this in the trader in the early game, like this is part of my optimized video. If you're brand new to 7 Days to Die, do this first. One of my strategies is to rush a lot of dukes, buy out the cobblestone, buy out the concrete or the cement or whatever, because it's normally pretty cheap. And then you can just immediately scrap it for high quantities of stone, which are super strong, super early, because in the early game, if you could rush like 20 to 50 to 100 arrows in your first 1 to 2 days, it's super strong. That's super strong with how weak the zombies are and how strong the bow is. And like I can't emphasize how much time you save scrapping down a stack of 100 cobblestone for sale or scrapping down a stack of cement from the trader. You save so much time. I got a criticism from like 1 or 2 commenters. I think it is at least one saying like, why would you scrap the cement down when it's all over the world? And that is time. It is a slight optimization because when you scrap down 100 cobblestone to 75 stone or scrap down cement to 50 stone or 75 stone, whatever it is, whatever the ratio is, that is time you are not standing there smacking a rock with your level 1 mining skill, because you're not learning by doing anymore. You're getting all your experience to slap points into a skill through the main perk level up system. So it's like a waste of your time in the early game to mine for stuff unless you absolutely have to. It's better to get out there and do the things that get you XP, which is killing zombies. So like scrapping it, immediately getting your zombie killing devices and getting out there and getting, you know what I mean? Hopefully that makes sense. That's a strong strategy. Clay. I'm gonna go with the gaming leprechaun. I forgot his name. What's his name? Sorry, what's his name? That gaming leprechaun. Sorry, I'm gonna go with his opinion. Clay is S tier. He got a little comment spat down in that video, the resource video, and it was about like Clay or something like that. The guy commenting was like, "Don't listen to him because Clay is everywhere. It should only be C tier or something like that." And he said Clay is used for everything, and I read that and I'm like, "Yeah, 100%, bro. Like Clay is in everything. You need it to make forged iron, you need it to make forged steel, you need it to make pretty much everything in the whole freaking game. And Darkness Falls even more so because there's like workstations that you make with clay, like the pestle and mortar." Clay. The world is made of clay in 7 days. 7 days. But yeah, just easy. I'd put it on the low end. S tier. But I think it is an S tier item as well. Cloth. They kind of killed cloth in 1.0. So I think this kind of dramatically went down. I don't think it's used as a recipe for arrows. But in Darkness Falls, you can use cloth for arrows. So like in Darkness Falls, I'd say it's like B tier for sure. At least. Like top of B tier because it's so like you can make a lot of arrows with it. But in 1.0 cloth, they kind of nerfed it a lot. They made it a lot more abundant and they made it like a lot less useful. Yeah. So cloth, there isn't really too much to say about it. It's stackable. That's not bad, but it doesn't sell for a lot. It's not whatever. I mean, whatever. It's used in some recipes still, but it's still like not as good. Coal. I love coal. Charcoal, but coal is nice. I want to put coal at the top here just because like it's half an ingredient for gunpowder. It's one half of the ingredient, plus you can also use it as a fuel source for your chemistry station and your forge. So I like that a lot. It's pretty cool. Yeah, but coal, again, it's going to go back to this whole mentality of like our entire world in 7 Days to Die is our ability to produce bullets, and that is going to facilitate a lot of our whatever. So I'm going to put cobblestone here. No, I'm going to put cobblestone ahead of concrete or cement, sorry, because cobblestone comes online a lot easier. It's made of clay and stone. It's very easy to procure if you find it in the trader early. Sometimes when you get like 100, 200, 300 cobblestone in the early trader rolls, you're able to make an entire base for a very cheap amount of dukes. And the cobblestone carries you for a very long time, and it requires a lot more investment to get cement and concrete online. But cobblestone is very cheap, and it's 1,500 health, and it's so easy to make and acquire. It's just such a good item. Plus, also, you can scrap it down into stone, like I was saying before. It's super good. It's super cool. Very good. Concrete, just a better version of all these. This is like, it's constructed. It's like a refined. Actually, no. Yes? No. I'll put it at the top of A because concrete structures are more important than these things. Concrete structures will help you a lot more than like half cost on your chemistry station and stuff like that. Even though it's kind of like my play style. I don't care about bases so much, but I know like a lot of 7 days is the ability to produce a good base. So this is like base building is super strong. Like base building is super important, but I'm more of a running gunner, so I'm not really attached to buildings. I'd probably have a cobblestone building if I was playing with myself on day 70 horde. You know what I mean? But yeah, concrete super strong. It is better than most things. Aloe vera, kind of an awkward item. I think it's kind of C tier because yes, it is used to make aloe cream, and you use that to make your first aid bandages. But first aid bandages are so easy to come by. You pretty much in every wooden crate tier 1, you're getting 1 to 3. They're cheap at the trader. They're easy to come by, like the first aid bandage. What this makes, it's a lot more effort to find aloe veras and to make them in the first aid bandages than it is to just go find first aid bandages, in my opinion. At Darkness Falls, they have a second trader which has these things for sale, which make them a lot more abundant. Plus, also too in the late game, if you really wanted to like really get a lot of these and farm them, then you would have like a good late, like an established supply of first aid bandages later in the game through farming. But in the context of like your progression, that's going to come way later. And there's a lot more important things that come before this. So it's not like a very good item to loot, in my opinion. Coffee, kind of the same thing. Coffee is really good, but like a lot of that early game and medium and mid game, you're kind of just going for like, you have different priorities, and coffee's just kind of like nice, but it's not like, this is, like I said, it takes up a slot. It doesn't sell very well. And like the coffee recipe, I don't think you can make coffee right in the beginning. I could be wrong there, but maybe that's my old version bias kind of like messing this up too. So again, this one will probably need an updated list as well once I get some more time and explore more of the differences. Sand, I'm pretty sure it's used to make concrete, so we are going to put it here. It's easy to come by, but it doesn't like serve much value outside of making. I don't think you can make jars anymore, so it doesn't matter. When you can make jars, sand was a lot better. But now they kind of like gotten rid of a lot of its value except for making concrete, so it's still kind of valuable, but it doesn't sell for a lot, and it's just kind of annoying until you're constructing concrete. Brass doorknob goes up here. You get a little bit less. I'll put it at the end of S tier 2, like even behind clay, because you get a little bit of less brass from it. It doesn't sell as much. It's just it's not bad because it is brass, but it's just a little bit. Now duct tape. I want to put it here because duct tape is super important, and it's hard to come by. Like later when the game gets going, it's a lot like, you got a lot of bones and stuff like that, a lot of glue, a lot of cloth. You can make a lot of duct tape, which might justify cloth going up to the bottom of B actually. Now that I think about it, because I'm pretty sure you still make duct tape out of cloth and glue. So then duct tape is super important because it like goes into everything. Like when you're making your vehicles, you're making your armor, you're making guns, you're making a bunch of pretty much everything. Like duct tape is like all over the place, but it's like, so it's used so much, it's actually like a very useful item. So it is always important to pick up. Always important to hoard this up because you always think you got enough, and then you use it all in one like little craft session, and then blam, it's over. Electrical parts. I'll put that at the bottom of A because you use it to make like traps and stuff. But like again, that's base building and like power generation and stuff like that. But I'm not too concerned with that. Me personally, my own play style. But I do value its importance, and it is a very good item. Like when you're wrenching stuff down, to just stack up, and it sells for a lot. So it is good. It does turn into a lot of dukes, and like it's easy to come by, and it's stackable. So I mean, like that's awesome. Feathers. Feathers. Let's say top of A. Top of A makes sense. Though, Berg, man. Feathers, I want to put them here. This may be in the wrong spot, but I just want to put them here because I want to put feathers at the top because of how important they are again in the early game. Feathers, nests, arrows, kill, end game loot. Like what they transform, like what feathers transform to in the early game. It's like end game loot, quests, all that shit. Like feathers are like one of the best ways to safely guarantee quests get done, POIs get looted, zombies get killed, which are all the three. That's the meta of the 7 days experience now. And feathers facilitate that. They get that going. So every nest you run by, you want to, and I'll do this even when I'm not even using feathers anymore. I'll still have to stop the draw, the temptation to open every single nest I see. But like, it is that important that you need to do it. Okay, so now we got iron bars. Not S tier, but it's not B tier. Maybe it's B tier. I think it's A tier. Bottom of 8, no. It's ahead of that. I think that's a good spot for it. Bones is like when I'm going up the list, it's like, oh, no, it beats glass, beats everything on this list so far, beats everything on this, I would say. But I think it stops at bones. And forged iron makes, your baseball bats, your I think junk turret, makes all your tier, your tier 2 weapons, iron knuckles, your stuff, hunting knife, makes everything. Like all it's your progression to your next stage of gear. And it's just good. It goes in a lot of things. It's a super important resource. You're gonna need a lot of it, thousands of them in the late game, but whatever. Lead fishing weights in the early game. I'm never super mad about finding them because like they're kind of like where the brass doorknob is in terms of like the early game selling, because they you get a few of them and they sell well, and they do stack. They do scrap to stack, but they're nothing really to write home about. So, yeah, I think here is fine for him. Steel bar, we'll go here. Perfect, right? Maybe even bottom of S. Bottom of S because steel bar increases your concrete structures to reinforce steel, so it's the next progression to your base builds. Plus, they give you every one of your high tier items. They give you steel pickaxe, steel sledgehammer, steel club, you know what I'm saying? Like that high tier stuff, the high tier stuff. And so it's like the end of your progression. Once you get the crucible, once you get steel bar, or you know what I mean? Once you get the crucible, once you get the steel bars flowing, you're really rolling in it. Yeah. So glue. Yep. I would say glue and duct tape go right next to each other because glue goes into duct tape. And glue goes into a lot of the same recipes that duct tape goes into. So where you're using a lot of duct tape, you're probably using a lot of glue. And these are your stuff builders, like your stuff, like your equipment, your whatever. So these two things are always like when I see glue, when I see duct tape, I am trying to find space for them. They are high priority in my inventory when I'm looting things. So yeah, there's not much to say. Other than that. Man, I'm going to need a lot of room in the S tier. There's a lot of good resources in the game. This is the reason why 7 Days is so amazing, let me tell you, is that everything you find in the game is so useful. It's like it's part of the addiction of 7 Days to Die is that like, oh my God, it's got more good stuff. Every time you open anything, like even trash bags, you're just like, oh my God, it's got 45 wood and 60 stone. What the fuck? Oh my God, I just opened this up and got 10 duct tape or 2 duct tape or anything. It's like, it's a hit of dope. It's like the YouTube Shorts reel. You know what I mean? I wish the camera would. Can you focus again, please? Yeah, whatever. But like, it's like a YouTube Shorts reel. Every time you open it up. You know what I mean? My camera's going to die soon. I swear to God. Yeah, it's probably going to die. But yeah, sorry. But like, that's like the beauty of fucking 70s. But yeah, so then we got gunpowder. Gunpowder's going to go right here. I will value it even higher than the brass and the bullet casings because I want to say, like, it is bullets, but it is also explosives. That's the other part, like the greatest part of it. Is it like explosives are like bullets, but bigger. I don't know what else to say other than that. Like bombs are bullets, but boomier. You know what I mean? And bombs kill 10 zombies where a bullet kills one zombie. So like gunpowder does both of those things. So it's like super important. This is driving me insane. This is driving me insane. I'm so sorry. If this quality kills it for everybody, I'm so sorry. Anyway. Okay, I'm back. Thank God that worked. Okay. Kind of. Whatever. Headlights. Yeah. I like them. They sell good and they make cars. Not much else to say about them. They sell good. They make cars. Yeah, top of B. Top of B. They sell good and they make cars. Leather. Pretty sure it's a super important part of making like your equipment and armor and stuff like that. So I'll just slide it. It'll go ahead electrical parts. I think that's a safe spot for it. You need it for like your whatever. I mean, a lot more important in earlier games. Darkness Falls super important. In Darkness Falls super important. I don't know. This is a 1.0 list. I don't know why I keep saying Darkness Falls stuff. I guess most of you who do play 1.0, you will eventually be playing Darkness Falls. I will bet you money that you will play some sort of modded version, because I see 7 Days 1.0 as your gateway drug to all the mods, because the mods are really what makes 7 Days amazing. Lockpicks. I don't normally pick locks. You can pick locks, and there's probably some strategy around getting lockpicks and then doing a bunch of gun saves to get a bunch of early good loot. But I bust everything, but I sell these. So I will put them... I sell these because they sell pretty good. Here. I think that's fine. Maybe C. I don't know. Maybe this here and this the top of C. Let's do that. Mechanical parts. Probably here. Mechanical parts go into a lot of things. They go into like your vehicles and your bicycle and all that stuff, and a lot of equipment and stuff uses mechanical parts, but they sell really well. They stack well and they sell well. That's a good thing. Short iron pipe. This one sells good, stacks, so it goes up the list pretty good. So it's at least here. I would say it's at least here. It's good early because it gets you into the pipe machine gun. Like the starter quest gets you pipe machine gun in 1.0, but you need to repair it with your pipes. So then that gives it more value than this stuff, I feel. Right here, I think is really good because it gets you your pipe technology. It gets you iron. It's a very good source of iron in the early game, and it sells pretty good. And it gets you to pipe weapons. I think I said that 50 times already. Sorry. Military fiber. Did they remove this? Let me check the leprechauns list. Sorry. I don't see military fiber on his, so I'm just going to assume they removed it. So I'll just leave it down here. So I'm sorry about that. Nails. I don't know. Nails are kind of like easy as hell to find. They scrap down to iron, but not even very much iron. So sure here. Oil shale. Oil shale is very good. I'll just slap it right next to gas because like one of the ways that when you get Chemistry Station online, which means it fits just fine here, you can mass produce gas and then you never need to go loot it ever again. So oil shale is really nice for that. And yeah, oil. I don't know. It sells so good. Oil is one of those things that are like you need it for some specific items. And it always sells super good. So I feel off my gut instinct here that it's just good here. It's just good here. Snowballs. I don't really like going to the snow biome. But you can make. I don't even know if you can make water with this anymore because you don't have jars. So I think it's kind of just trash. But I'm not 100% sure. This is for like decorating stuff. That's what my girlfriend likes to do, but I don't really care about that. So this is kind of low tier for me. Paper makes bullets, makes shotgun shells, so it should go at least where buckshot is. In Darkness Falls, this is S tier, or not S tier, sorry. Anyway, yeah. I think it's good there. Nitrate. You can mine it. It's easy to come by when you start mining. Once you find a nitrate vein, it does belong in S tier, but it belongs there later. when you start getting gunpowder mills online. But like until you get like chemistry station online or you have the campfire going with making gunpowder, like or nitrate is not like super important to be looting, because it is so abundant. You can mine it, so it is easier to get. So it does go here because it does eventually become gunpowder, but then it also becomes like farming blocks too. Or farming. Okay, I don't farm in 1.0, so I don't know if those are in 1.0. I know they are in Darkest Falls. So yes, brass radiators. We'll put them way up here. They sell super good. They stack 5. They break down to brass if you somehow have so many brass radiators you don't know what to do. And yeah, just a really good item, really good resource. I like scrapping cars down because of radiators. Gives you a lot of dukes. Diamond. They're rare, give you a lot of dukes. I just want to put them up there. Repair kit. Super important right here. Like you're using duct tape to make a lot of repair kits because you're repairing all your guns and stuff with them. Because like, when you're using a lot of guns, you're repairing them all the time. Rocket casings. Bombs. It's iron and lead. And like late game, this becomes a very viable strategy. But like in relation to the context I've created for my entire list of resources here, I'm not sure how important it is. Bottom of A, we'll just slide there. It's pretty safe. We'll go brass is like right behind dukes, because brass can be sold for dukes, but brass is king because it turns into bullet casings. So brass, and it's stackable. You can get like a lot of brass. It's very good. Iron as well. Your main raw materials are going to go up here. Lead. For some reason, I just don't like it as much, so I'll just slide it by bullets. Plastic. Plastic is like stackable and it sells really well, so I'm going to put it here. Maybe here. We'll just put it here. I think that's a good spot for it. Needle and thread. Kind of a weird item. I don't like it that much. I don't find a lot of use for it. Again, also, too, let's say that. I should be biasing this towards my own playstyle as well. Like my opinion as a player, how important it is that to me, which should affect you. Boom. This sells good. These items, maybe they should actually go higher because like they sell for dukes and dukes. Yeah, they should go higher because they sell for dukes and dukes are king. So actually, this should be the order. That should be the order because when you come across this stuff, it sells for a lot of money. And it stacks, so whatever. Springs sell really damn good, so I'm going to put it wherever ahead of electrical parts because they're used around there. Looks pretty good. I don't like use drugs ever, so I don't really care, but I know you can like make steroids and make a bunch of stuff. Steroids give you that run speed, so that's kind of cool niche. So it is more useful than the stuff I got down here, but I don't really care about it. Brass, we'll just put up here, brass trophies. Lead trophies kind of go around here. They sell okay, and stuff that sells okay, I want to just put it in A, but I got to stop filling it up there. So I think the top of B is fine. Wood, obviously right here. This is your core resource. So clay's going to come back up because of core resource. Core resources. Grass. Grass usefulness in the early game, like super important, but like it immediately falls off. And I wish kind of the grass like went into a tree of like thread or string, and then you could craft it into rope or like make it into cloth. I think there is like a route for that, but it comes in so late in the game where it doesn't even fucking matter. It'd be really cool to just have that sort of like as a tech tree to make grass cooler. But it's not bad. But grass just kind of falls off. Rocks. Rock. Perfect. Yeah, the S tier looks like everything I want in my chests, like massive amounts of. This is for making armor and shit. So I know that's important. But I didn't really explore armor because I did not explore armor because I did not want to. I don't want to deal with the stamina regen. I think 1.0. I think one of the worst things about 1.0, 1.1 is the armor. Honestly, I like light armor and the buffs you get from light armor because light armor doesn't take away your stamina, doesn't take away your mobility. But I was immediately turned off by the armor. Even with the perks and stuff like that. I didn't even like want to bother learning them. But that is my list for resources for the tier list. I hope you enjoyed. This one may need I may need to like, this one's kind of got me like, you should play more 1.0, do another 20 hours with this thing in your mind. So you can kind of just like get a better feel. Cause like the weapons were easy because it's like, duh, what kills zombie good? You know what I mean? What kills zombie good? Daytime, nighttime, and during horde. Duh. But this is like, this is a little bit more complex and nuanced to really talk about this stuff and really rank this stuff. But this is like, I feel like my S tier I'm very confident in. Like this stuff is like what I want to see in the chests as the game develops. Like all this stuff, I'm not mad about being in the chests as the game develops. And this stuff down here, you know, gasoline maybe up here again, like maybe in the bottom of A actually now. Like I want that in my chests. Like when I see this list is like, this is the type of loot I want in my chests when it comes to my resource chest. So I think this is a pretty solid list. Sorry, these 2 items here. I'm not sure if cans are even in the game because of what is it called? I'm on 21.2 because that's the most stable version of Darkness Falls. So I grabbed all the item icons from the folder or whatever. And again, I'll plug one more time just because I'm really thankful for this idea. And that is that gaming leprechaun. He gave me this idea, and this is very cool. I even gave him a comment, very based. I need to make a shit ton more tier lists. It's like the perfect content for making and enjoying. Nice content, man. Give me a nice heart react. Didn't even notice that. Thank you very much for that. That's very cool. Thank you. Appreciate it. But yeah, everybody should go to his channel and subscribe to his stuff. And please subscribe to me too. That'd be really cool. But thanks to this guy for the idea. Can't thank you enough. And hope you guys enjoyed. This one's a little bit longer than the other one. But hope you enjoyed. Thank you very much.